Hi everyone, welcome back to day 7 of my balance guide. This is Alicia. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, minimalism. And I've been interested in this idea of less is more for a very long time. It probably started years ago, my first marketing and advertising job, and where we would basically try to determine the single most important thing we wanted to communicate to our audience or to our consumer. And most times that one thing, that less, was actually more. So by focusing on just that one thing, we got more. So that's been a weather vane concept for me for my whole personal and work career. Today I want to talk about less is more in the concept of less stuff is more happy. And about 5 years ago, I came across a documentary, The Minimalism, a documentary of important things. And it's a story of Josh and Ryan, who were young friends in their 20s, starting out climbing the corporate ladder to the American dream. And when they got to a certain point, they discovered that they weren't as happy as they thought they should be, like everyone told them. They were just doing what everyone was doing. And so they set out to find a different way to live and share that with other people. I've been following their podcast too, so if you want to check that out over the past 3 or 4 years now, and that's a lot of fun. So this is such an important time in our history to be reevaluating the important things in our life. Many of you have probably heard of Marie Kondo. She wrote the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and she is all about things that spark joy and things that don't. And she helps people get organized after they've decluttered. She actually has a Netflix series now, so if there's some interest there, you can check that out. But she's really she's talking about clutter, and I have a question for you. Do you think the clutter in your house or in your closet actually is clutter in your head? I would argue that it is. So I believe that the excess stuff in our life is really causing stress, and that stress is potentially impacting our health. So if you have a room in your house where you keep the door closed because it's such a mess and you don't want to see it, or there's a corner or room in your house that every time you go into it, you are thinking, I've got to take care of that. I just don't know where to start with it. Or maybe your closet is full of clothes that you don't wear or clothes that don't fit. Most people wear about 20% of the things in their closet. And shoes, we won't go there, but you can only wear one pair of shoes at a time. If you're interested in the clothes part of it, if that kind of rings a bell for you and you're like, I really need to work on that, there is a woman named Courtney Carver, and she did a challenge for herself around clothes. She wanted to see, she started a challenge for herself called Project 333, and she wanted to see if she could wear only 33 items from her closet over a 3-month period and see if anyone would notice. And it went viral, and she ended up writing a book about it. So I would encourage you to check that out if the closet portion rang true for you. So the minimalists are advocating a simple life, living with less, more intentionally, and owning things that really just add value to your life. And the documentary is also really fun because they're interviewing people who are building or moving into tiny houses or in smaller spaces like New York City, into an apartment where the living space is very small, but it's designed in a way that it's just enough and there's everything that you need in there. So there's some really interesting pieces to check out if you end up watching the documentary. There's absolutely no waste. Everything is very intentional. So are you surrounded by important things that spark joy? Are you consuming and living with intention? Comment below. Let me know if minimalism is something that interests you, or maybe it scares you. I don't know. Or maybe you've actually decluttered recently in your house or room, or maybe even a drawer. So tell me about how that went and the success around that for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.